Hello everyone. Much love to all of you. So today I'm going to talk about closure, the want and the need for closure. Now this isn't a topic that is totally relevant to my current state, but I've gone through all of the stuff, just like you guys have, that I'm going to talk about. And this came up, I'm not sure why it came up, but I was driving to work, and I was in this state of Zen, stillness, and I heard my guides talking to me about this topic, the want and the need for closure. And I thought it was interesting, and so why not? Let's talk about closure. One moment. Okay, so I'm just trying to organize the information and gather my thoughts, because it sometimes comes to me in pieces, and I, like I said before, put it together. I'm just gonna go for it. So we have this want and need. When a cycle comes to a closing, there is an ending to whatever it is. It could be any relationship, not just the romantic. It could be work. It could be, professional, parental, hopefully not that, friendships, all kinds of relationships. So when it reaches its cycle and it comes to an end, regardless of how it comes, whether it's sudden or something that you knew was coming gradually, we go into this space, that's what I'm going to call it, of desperately wanting closure, because we think that is what's going to set us free. It could be true in some cases, but I find, for me, and also where we look for these closures, that's the key. Looking for closure, that's where we set ourselves back, because we are looking for it outside from that person, that ended the relationship. We want to ask them, where did we go wrong? Why did you do this? What is it that I did that made you do that? That's very counterproductive, because 9 times out of 10, when people are triggering you or challenging you, they're not aware of it themselves. They're operating out of the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is what interacts with us more so than your conscious mind, which is your true essence. And so sometimes you don't even know why you did what you did, but you did it, and you are just so hard on yourself, like judging yourself, like, this is so out of character for me. Why did I do this? It's that impulsiveness. So we get seduced by this energy, and you are desperately seeking this closure because you just cannot find it within yourself to forgive and move on. But what my guides are saying is, this closure that you think you need from that person really is within you. This is a time for reflection, for you to look within. That's what this event is about. Okay, sometimes we get into these difficult situations to bring us back to self. But our conditioning tells us, and nothing is wrong with communication, okay? Nothing is wrong with communicating to this person how they made you feel. However, it's important for you to be aware of your space in that time. Where am I coming from? Am I coming from a place of, I've done the forgiveness and the accepting and the healing that needs to go on within myself, and now that I have seen the bigger picture and I've risen above it, am I going to tell that person what they've done for me? For me, not to me, for me. Because whatever that person did to trigger you allowed you to look inward, okay, and resolve whatever that was within you, okay? So if you're coming from that place, then absolutely have that conversation. That is your true closure, you know? You're saying it and doing it in a loving way. Now, if you're coming from a space of unconsciousness, you know, hurt, pain, suffering, rejection, betrayal, all of those emotions that come from your egoic personality or the ego part of you. If you're coming from that space, then what you're looking for is a vengeance. You want to make that person feel your pain. You want them to feel how they made you feel because you think that is your closure, and you feel like you can walk away from it knowing that they're feeling your pain and they're going to feel remorse. You're expecting that from them. So that is unhealthy. That doesn't resolve anything, and most likely they're not going to know where you're coming from because they were acting out of an unconscious mind, usually. Now, in the chance that it does penetrate and it gets through to them and it triggers them at the same time to whatever is existing within them, then that becomes a toxic exchange because now you're triggering each other and you're not really resolving anything within, you know? So that's what I've come to realize is you don't need to have closure from an outside source. If you do, I think it's beneficial for you to go through that healing and the inward looking part. Go through that first. Then you'll get your closure. You'll come from a peaceful, loving place when you have this conversation. Some of us feel the need to have the last word. I think that goes along with the closure. And that also comes from your egoic personality. You don't need to have the last word. Silence actually speaks volumes. When you silence yourself and you silence your mind, your inner self is speaking, your true being. The ego takes a back seat, and you have that dialogue with your true self. It's not even a dialogue, it's just a knowing of peace, love, compassion, and understanding. It's definitely a practice. This is something that I've recently discovered of just being still and silent and not allowing my mind to take over me. This is what happens to most of us when we react to these situations in the way that we do, is we let our overactive mind analyze the heck out of a situation and react in an irrational way sometimes. And sometimes, you know, that part of you that is the ego, what we call the ego, truly makes you feel like this is coming from you, this is who you are, and it identifies with you. But you know, on some level, there is a tiny part of you that knows that this is wrong. This I really shouldn't be going down this road, but you know what? I feel compelled to, so I'm going to go. I'm going to give in. So listen to that little part of you that's telling you, hey, let's just stop and think about this. Do we really need to go there? Do we really need to go shopping or whatever it is, looking outward to feel that void? Fill that void. And so that is what I have learned, is to just really, really think about what you are doing, where you're coming from. Observe your space. And that may include observing your emotions. Don't get taken over by them, but observe them and say, is this really healthy for my emotional well-being? Is this really going to solve this situation? And so Look inwards. I know you've heard this before many times, but everything that you ever need is already inside of you. You do not need anyone to fill your cup, to make you feel happy, to fulfill you, to give you closure. You don't need that. It's all in here already. So turn to yourself. It's the hardest and the most difficult thing you can do. But once you find that peace, like I have, and I'm sure some of you have, you will have no need whatsoever, no need to find love, compassion, security, all of those love-based emotions that we're constantly looking outward for. You'll have no need to look out there. It's already within here. You know how to reach it. You know that's home. That's where your home is. You know how to get to that place. And this is what helps you navigate through these challenging situations that we are faced with. And you're able to confront these situations in such a mature way. Okay? So that is what I found to be true for me, actually. So I hope this helps some of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you on the next video. So much love to you guys.